And we are live. And welcome back to another episode of the Baseline Bums podcast. It's your host, Rob, aka B-Ball Archives. And once again, I got the bum AJ in here. And we got some exciting Spurs stuff to talk about. We're
Yeah, we
excited to.
do.
Yeah, absolutely. We just had a really amazing win against a good Nuggets team. And I'm excited to break it down, but first and foremost, hey, we're doing a morning episode. How you doing this morning, AJ?
Rob, Texas Tech finished 11-1. Jacob Rodriguez had a touchdown and an interception, filling up the stat sheets yesterday. We got the Spurs, who are playing really good basketball right now, and I got Arsenal versus Chelsea in like an hour and a half. Buddy, I'm doing fantastic. Sports are dope. How are you doing today?
I'm in a very similar boat. I mean, it just really seems like it's been a like all of our sports franchises are, flowing down a gravy road with biscuit wheels, and and it's looking really solid. So
Oh, yeah.
I'm loving what we're seeing from the Spurs, but I'm glad you brought up Tech football. We will absolutely dive into some of that later because Jacob Rodriguez always needs to be talked about and glazed whenever humanly possible. But this is a Spurs podcast, and
Absolutely. Spurs first and foremost. You see the signs, you see the logos.
and
Rob.
we had an amazing win against the Nuggets on Friday night, and we haven't really talked about it too much, and I think this is a proper time to just dive into what led to a really interesting win that night and why we are 5-1 without Wemby, a place we didn't really think we would be. So when we're looking at that win against the Nuggets, what were you seeing, AJ?
Well, I saw a team that overcame an 18-point second quarter. And I think that in itself says a lot about this team because that second quarter was rough. I was like, Jesus Christ, guys, what are we doing? And that lead ballooned, and I'm going, man, I really wanted to make it out of groups play in this NBA Cup. And then all of a sudden, like Devin started hitting shots, Champagne started hitting shots, Fox was hitting shots, and then all of a sudden you look up and it's like, oh shit, we got a game on our hands. So what really stood out for me, obviously Champagne for sure, but one thing I absolutely loved to see was the Fox Cornette connection. Whenever they was doing the pick and rolls, and he would just find Luke Cornette, just like here's a little dump pass or an alley oop or something like that. Watching that makes me go put Wemby in that situation. I mean, like,
Yes.
or any other big man in that situation, and it's like, all right, we can play with or without Wemby, which is great. But now I'm kind of going, there's a way we can put Wemby in here where we make him even better than that. So I'm excited about it. But I would say for me, the Luke Cornette, De'Aaron Fox connection was probably number one for me. How about you?
That is an amazing point because it did look like Cornette had maybe two or three really easy buckets that just seemed to be just things that just fell right in the breadbasket. And you can only imagine what that would look like with Wemby because that spot that De'Aaron Fox can throw it to is just enormous when you talk about just throwing it up for Wembanyama. So yeah, that's a great point right there. Um, to me, this was the first game that made me confident in Devin Vassell being
Yeah,
our third scoring option. Because obviously, I know that it's going to be Wembanyama Fox. They're going to be our 1 and 2 option scoring each night, but there's going to be a lot of nights where we need that third option to step up. You know, Steph Castle's going to be tasked with a lot of defensive responsibilities. So there may be nights where he doesn't step up nearly as much because he's tired out defensively.
sure.
And then same thing with Dylan Harper and his distribution. It's like he may be trying to find people so much. And one of those people needs to be Devin Vassell in the
Right.
corner, and it like he was displaying perfect catch and shoot tendencies yesterday or on Friday. It was amazing, exactly what you want to see. Didn't fade away, in rhythm shooting, didn't really even need to take a dribble because he was in the right spots.
Yes.
And
Yes.
exactly,
Yes.
exactly. And it led to him being 7 for 9 and being wide open for some really, really key threes. And so I look at, this game for Devin Vassell. Obviously, Julian Champagny dropped 25 and 10. Holy hell. We
Yeah.
really needed that kind of performance as well. But that 35 piece from Devin Vassell was something that I was really waiting to see, and I'm glad that we got it.
Yeah, and a couple things too. Both our rookies played really well. Like Carter Bryant only played 6 minutes, but he was playing great defense against Jokic. And I'm like, all right, this is this is very promising. And then Dylan Harper comes in and just spark plug, like just a spark plug. I'm sorry, the heartbreak kid comes in and he's like, they know I'm cute and they think I'm sexy. So I'm I was very, very pleased with everyone's performance. It was definitely a team effort, but I'm also kind of disappointed in Denver. Uh, they should have, I want to say easily beat us, but they should have beaten us, and they didn't. And I think you see the lack of or having Aaron Gordon and Christian Brown played a huge factor in this game because whenever they needed someone to do it, like a lockdown, possibly Devin Vassell, they didn't have anyone to do it. Or if they needed someone else to score some buckets, I'm looking at the box scores and they had plenty of people score. But if you had Aaron Gordon in there, that's a much better bucket than relying on Peyton Watson.
Right. Right. I agree wholeheartedly. They needed some defensive versatility and some size against us, and Aaron Gordon and Christian Brown really give you that. But also, like, I was kind of in the same boat as you. Like, if you were to tell me that we were gonna play Denver on a night where Jokic, does his normal, 20 point, triple, almost triple double, which it was kind of a quiet game for
It was
Jokic
a quiet game for him for sure.
when you look at 21, 10, and 9, even though that's a
It's a
really
great
good,
stat line.
it's
Just
a great
it's not
stat line.
it's not 30, 14, 11. And you're like,
Right.
and shout out to Luke Cornett for making that
Yes.
happen, and shout out for everyone stepping up. Like I said, CB comes in and just you know not afraid like that. That's he fearless, honestly, and it looks like he's fighting for some minutes. And honestly, like play him.
Yeah, I loved to see him kind of match that physicality that Jokic was bringing at the top of the key, and seeing him not shy away from that defensive responsibility. So I was really enjoying that, but I also was looking at the fact that this was a game that Cam Johnson really found his mojo, because this whole season Cam Johnson had been kind of ice cold from beyond the arc. They had been kind of really wondering why they brought him in to begin with. And we're seeing Cam Johnson go 6 for 9 from beyond the arc. It's a game where Jamal Murray also catches fire multiple times. And if you were to tell me that going into the game, well, I'm like, oh, 100% we lose. 100% we lose. But
Right.
then,
Yep.
but then we have multiple guys step up on a night where I think we are absolutely cooked. It's just a really, really inspiring win. I think it just it really gives me a lot of confidence that we're gonna make it through this stretch of games without Wemby and Castle.
We had 7 people in double figures, right? I would attest that our catalyst, Keldon Johnson. Like Keldon Johnson comes in and he just has that energy every single night. And whenever we need like someone just to kind of push us over the edge, he's there. Like he is such the epitome of being a Spur that it makes my heart just feel nice and warm and fuzzy, like at the end of the Grinch movie. And I'm like, good God, that's awesome. So seeing Keldon Johnson come in I wouldn't even say it's a lesser role. I would honestly argue it's a more important role because you get it's so like Mitch Johnson says, embrace the mundane, embrace the boring, and it's like I love it, but sometimes you need someone to just kind of you know tell a joke or fart in the office or something like that, and that's Keldon Johnson, and everyone like kind of like all right, we're good, we're laughing, and then he comes in and just like what he has like 2 or 3 power dunks, and you're going, oh, we're here. Like it was huge. And man, shout out to that guy. I am such a Keldon Johnson mark now. And I was kind of off on him, but seeing what he's done and to embracing that role, dude, I hope we keep
Yeah. I mean, I'm right there with you. I think there's a lot to be said about a guy that's labeled the glue guy. That is just like he can just stick into any situation. And of course, we remember the dark days when he was our number one offensive option and he was scoring 20 something points a game. And we really had to rely on him a lot. And that was really, dark times, like I was
yeah,
saying.
oh yeah.
But he is such, like you were saying, that high energy guy, that guy that's always going to bring you a little bit of something extra, and he's going to be able to fit into any kind of role. So I think that, and you were saying that his role now is more important than it was before. I agree, because now we're winning. Now it's
Yeah.
translating to winning basketball. And if you are able to maintain a role where you're playing 20 minutes a game on a team that's routinely winning, that's where you are impacting the game in a real way. So yeah, if he's coming in there and playing 20 something minutes and getting that 12, 13 points a game on some good efficiency. I mean, he was our second leading rebounder the other night. And
Yeah.
he's coming in at a 6'5" undersized forward. He's a 6'5" wing. It's like that's effort.
It's all effort. And honestly, in today's NBA, a little effort goes a long way. Like a little effort goes a long way. Like I remember at my bachelor party, there was a stripper, and I was like, "Wow, that's that's really impressive." And she was like, "It's called effort." I'm like, "Oh, so the other ones aren't giving me any effort." Okay, good to know. And I'm like, "Wow, effort goes a long way." And then so you take that my experience at my bachelor party and you apply it to life, and good lord, amazing things happen. It's amazing what happens.
I love that correlation right there.
Shout
That
out to the yellow rose.
that's hilarious. But yeah, there was a lot of very interesting things in that Spurs win over the Nuggets right there. Another very, very key contributor that we kind of talked about a little bit, but we got to talk about Dylan Harper just a little bit more,
Oh yeah.
because there was one play in particular I saw him literally read Jokic's eyes. He saw that he was about to make a skip
And
pass
he
over to the
he
left
jumped
side.
it.
He jumped it. He jumped it. He got that steal and then was a one-man fast break finish at the rim. And that's what Dylan Harper can bring. A lot of people have been talking about his like downhill attacking capabilities, and we've been glazing it like crazy. But I think that we also need to look at him as a defensive piece as well. Like he's a guy that is a two-way monster in the making when you look at his defense IQ and his ability to just make offense happen from the defense. And that's a large part of like what OKC is doing,
Yeah.
having a bunch of really strong uh defensive guards that create that offense. And I see us making that same mold right now. And it's lovely to see that come to fruition.
Oh yeah. And and honestly, like him coming off the bench, and there was a point in time where we had on the court, it was Dylan Harper, Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell, I think De'Aaron Fox, and uh, Harrison Barnes. And I mean, small lineup, but effective lineup. I want to say that's when we got most of our steals too. So, the fact that we're playing great defense, even without our best shot blocker, and we're still getting a bunch of steals per game. And then, you're looking at what De'Aaron Fox, he didn't have a great game offensively, but he dropped 12 dimes. So
Yeah.
even if he's not finding it, he's still finding people who are. And I mean, when Devin Vassell is, radioactive hot, you just find him throwing the ball and let him shoot. And there's a couple he checks, and I'm going, oh no, he's not missing, period. He's
Yeah.
not missing. And so that was really cool to see. But shout out to the Spurs. It's not easy playing Denver, especially one night. I think they flew from Portland back to San Antonio to do Thanksgiving down here, and then flew up to Denver and played that game. That's a hard that's a hard 3 days. That's a lot of travel. That's very high altitude. And you went in there and you beat a team that people are talking about winning the championship. So
Yeah. Oh yeah, and it was on a night where they shot 41% from 3. Like, I can't understate, like, how well Denver shot tonight. They nailed shots when they needed to. Guys stepped up, and Jokic didn't have a monster game, but he had a really efficient game in helping other people succeed. So, like, that was about as good as of a game as you are going to see from Denver night in, night out. And we beat them without Wemby, without Castle. So, like, I'm to me, like we were saying in the group chat, it's the most impressive win of the season so far for us. And yeah, I think it's really, really strong to see. But I do want to bring up one of the negatives that I think I saw, and we've kind of been bringing up this player and where he fits within the lineup a lot recently, but it's Jeremy Sohan. Once again, it's a night where, like, I'm seeing him just foul a lot where he doesn't need to foul. You're seeing the 5 fouls in 16 minutes of play. And I mean, he fouled 2 times in under 4 minutes right when he got into the game. One of them was just such a bonehead foul that I was like, "What are we doing here?" Um,
yeah,
so if he's not providing as good a defense as he did last year while simultaneously giving up these opportunities, it's we gotta get him out of the lineup more and more. Is that kind of what you're seeing?
I did, and this is what I said. Where Carter Bryant is right now is where we wish Jeremy Sohan was last year. And it sucks to say, but the reality is, like, Carter Bryant's going to take that spot probably towards the end of the season, if not sooner. And the reason why is just he offers just a lot more without what you said, fouling all the time. And it's tough when you have a guy that you spend a lottery pick on and you're really excited about. He went to Baylor, Texas guy, European, whatever. And he has cool hair for some people. I fucking hate it. But for me, it's like I want him to succeed and I want to be proven wrong. But as the season continues to progress, like, it's not getting better. And then you see a guy like Carter Bryant come in and make the most out of his 6 minutes. Like, I mean, that's like I said, that's kind of what we want Jeremy Sohan. We thought we were going to get in year 2 or 3, and we're getting it in rookie year of Carter Bryant. So now it's like we're Carter Bryant's ceiling right now is a lot higher than Jeremy Sohan's, and they kind of do the same thing. So as much as, like, you like to have a bruiser in there or whatever, and it's like, oh, he's our asshole or whatever James says, like, cool, but if he's turning the ball over and he's not doing what he needs to do, and we talked about this last time, like, he only had 1 rebound. I
Yeah.
when the score is 139 to 136, there's going to be rebounds. So, that just, it's really disappointing. It's just really disappointing. Maybe he's just having a slump. Maybe he just has the yips and he needs to get out of it, have a good game. But I'm not sure how much longer we can sustain Jeremy Sohan being there. And when Castle and Wemby come back, those minutes are going to drop even more. So, and maybe we keep Jeremy Sohan because Wemby says, like, I need a friend, but you can make other friends. I'll be your friend, Wemby.
Right. Yeah, I think unless when he's renegotiating for his next contract, unless he takes significantly less than what we're picturing, then yeah, I just don't understand how he fits into what we're wanting to do long term. And I agree. I think Carter Bryant more so fits that mold of what we're looking at. And I know his 3-point percentage isn't really doing a whole lot right now, but I think his shot mechanics are there. When you saw what he did at Arizona, he was a really, really, a high volume 3-point shooter at really good efficiency. So I'm confident that he can get there. Um, and that's not something that we've ever really seen from Sohan. I mean,
Yeah.
he's always been kind of a guy that we've been really just kind of wanting him to improve his shot. He's kind of improved here and there, but the overall mechanics need to look better, and and they really just haven't. So, you accompany that with all the dumb fouls and the step slower on defense. It's like, yeah, how do we make room for you when there's a guy that's a really budding 3 and D option right
Right.
there?
Right. And here's another thing too. I don't think it's necessarily Jeremy Sohan's fault. I think he's the first player that I think of who, if we would have kept Chip England, would have benefited tremendously from. And I think now we look at, oh shit, we lost the best shooting coach in the entire NBA to OKC, and you look at what they're doing and the way they're being efficient. And I think, if my years are correct, that was Jeremy's probably rookie year, maybe second year. Is when Chip went to OKC.
Mhm.
So you look at that and you're going, if we had Chip England and he was able to fix Jeremy Sohan's shot and just make it more confident, and we don't get these Twitter summer videos of him shooting 3-pointers, dude, clearly those, it didn't work. Like, thank you for showing us in June, but I want to see it in December. So I think he's the first player that we can point to and go, if we had Chip, that would be different.
That's a really great point, and I like that we have a moment to kind of glaze Chip England real quick, because yes, I agree wholeheartedly. One of, if not the best shooting coach, skills coach in the shooting space that you could possibly have. Shout out to guys like Phil Handy and Gershwinder, who was like Dirk's shooting coach and who has coached multiple other European greats. There's a lot of good shooting coaches, but Chip England is up there with the greats.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
and absolutely instrumental into helping Tony Parker develop his jump shot later in his career and really
Yep.
extending his game and his longevity. And Kawhi came into the league a very subpar 3-point shooter. He was about mid 20s when he was in college, and whenever he came out, he quickly started to rise up to a high 30s, and a lot of that was due to consistent work with Chip England. And
Boom.
so we got to shout out the GOAT shooting coach Chip England, and I agree wholeheartedly. Our shooting development hasn't been the same since he left.
Yeah. And now that was a really tough one to let go. But that's why you just turn around and hire guys that can shoot and don't worry about it later.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Find guys that already know how to do it, and then you don't really have to teach them a whole lot.
It's crazy.
It,
Isn't it crazy? NBA players, when they get to this level and they still can't do like some of the basic fundamentals, like it's wild to see. And I'm like, there aren't other options out there that maybe can do this a little better. But the NBA is a cutthroat league, and when you get to that high of level, it's just crazy. Like, one-handed free throws, like that kind of stuff. And no, I mean, it's wild to me. And also, bring back the granny shot. I who's above
Rick
granny
Barry would
shots,
agree. Rick Barry would agree.
dude? I'm sorry, like, it's a more efficient shot. It's way more easier to control, and it's a simple motion, and you don't have to worry about anything else, or like your offhand, pointing in the right direction or using too much thumb. It's literally down and up, get that rotation, and good things happen. So, that's one of my biggest pet peeves during the Whataburger What a Shot. You know what I'm talking about? Whenever they have the cans, dude, underhand, always underhand. Don't shoot over because that ball is going to bounce out. Underhand because it goes in. So,
Yeah.
I think Jeremy Sohan would have definitely benefited, but egos are big in the NBA, and I get it. So,
Well, dude, hey, Rick Barry was dropping 30 points a game on people's heads while shooting granny style and being racist as hell. So, I mean, that's a full-time job right there. So I don't know why people shy away from it, but yeah, it's I want to look cool and yeah, I agree though. Let's bring back granny
yeah, I
style.
mean, like if you're in the gym for, call it, 4 to 6 hours during the summer working on your free throws, just try something different.
Yeah. Yeah, I personally, as somebody that was always a good free throw shooter, never a great free throw shooter. My brother was a fantastic 3-point shooter. He was always low mid 90s
Damn.
percentage wise. I was like my best seasons, I was maybe like 83, 84, but I was always
Still
like at
still solid.
right. But like I did have a couple of years where I was like maybe 77 and I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I could have been better. So it was like, a good free throw shooter, but like I don't know how anyone is like in the NBA and you're chilling in the 50s and 60s. It's like where's the disconnect? How were you not practicing these at some point in time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It I don't know, man. But but tonight sorry. We're live. Sorry, we're live.
Yeah.
But tonight we have the Timberwolves. And, I don't know what to think of the Timberwolves. They played last night against Boston. I don't did they win that game or they lose that game? They won that game by 4 points.
Yes.
And like
Yeah.
I don't know what to think about the Timberwolves. I always have like these high expectations, but then they like lose to the Nets or something like that. So, I think we have a good shot. They're coming off of a back to back, and we played really well against the Nuggets. So let's hope that Devin Vassell is still hot from Friday night, and we can get this W. But for the most part, like, I just don't know what to think of these Timberwolves.
I think that's largely been their vibe over the last few years. It's like they look dangerous on paper. They have a lot of really good, interesting options. But ultimately, like I don't necessarily love what they're able to produce. It's like I'm still gonna say it. A team that relies this heavily on Julius Randle is not gonna be a deadly postseason team. So
Good point.
even if they do somehow get to a Western Conference Finals and all the stars align, I just don't see it working out. I love obviously Anthony Edwards, super talented. I love Nas Reed.
Right. Yeah.
I've been a Mike Conley fan for a long time. I like pieces when you look at Jaden McDaniels, like Jaden a lot too, but it just seems like a team that they're not able to put all of these talented pieces together. I think they're going to look at, their head coach Finch, and then really he's going to be the odd man out eventually. But I think that this is a team that, you know, they're 11-8. I don't know why we can't sneak out a win against them without Wemby and Castle. I look at them as a very beatable team, even though they've been winning some games recently.
If you want to talk about dodging a bullet and also just basic fundamentals, Rob Dillingham has been kind of a disappointment. Now, granted, he hasn't gotten a lot of run, but also like their other rookies are getting ahead of him now in the in the depth chart of the Timberwolves. So, like Terrence Shannon, former Texas Tech great, he's now above him in the rotation. And I just, I look back at that trade and we're like, what are we doing trading a 2031 player for? You know what? Great trade. As of
Right.
now, we're winning that trade because I saw that 7th grader on Twitter last week, and that dude's a stud, and he doesn't need a shot coach. Rob Dillingham's highlights right now are rough, and I'm very happy that we made that trade and we didn't draft him or anyone else for that matter in that time. But you look at that and you're going, fucking Senor Fleece strikes again.
Dude, yes. Absolutely. I think we are a highlight culture. We love
Mm-hmm.
when something looks shiny and pretty, and that's what Rob Dillingham's game looked like in college. It looked very appetizing. It looked like, oh, if he does this on a professional level, he's going to be Tyrese Maxey. And it just doesn't always translate like that. And so I love to see, us make that correct decision and obviously pass on Dillingham. And um, but I do ultimately think that he needs more of an opportunity
He
because
does. He definitely does.
I'm still not completely sold on him as a bust, but man, it doesn't look like he's going to get a lot of that opportunity in Minnesota. When you look at Anthony Edwards being on ball as much as he is, when you look at when he's not on ball, they're going to rely on the veteran point guard of, kind of that brings them stability in Mike Conley. And where does Dillingham fit into that?
Yeah, I
He
mean
really doesn't.
your starters are playing 30 minutes plus a game. Good luck.
Right.
Good luck. So he needs to go to somewhere like, Phoenix or Brooklyn.
Yeah. Somewhere he can get a lot of burn. You might be frozen on my end, dude. Yes, indeed. I believe you are frozen. You are frozen like Elsa. That might be copyrighted. Um, but yeah, we play the Timberwolves later this evening at 6 p.m. Very excited for that game. But then we also have the Pelicans twice in a row right after that. I feel like those are usually very tough matchups because the Pelicans usually are stubborn against us. They're very stingy, but at the same time, I do feel like we are a more talented basketball team than them. We will. Okay, AJ is trying to join back in, and we will make sure that we get wins there as well. So, um, yeah, right after the Timberwolves, we have the Pelicans twice. So I think
Can we stop playing the goddamn Pelicans?
I mean, we do struggle against them from time to time, but at the same time, we match up well against them on paper, so why
Is
not?
that 4 times that we played the Pelicans
Too
before
ma
before like Christmas? Four
s
times.
so many fucking times.
Like, I'm over it. Like, we're done. Like, we don't need to play the Pelicans for a long time after that. So, yeah, I mean, we should get both those games. I'm hoping Steph Castle comes back sooner than later. They're saying
Yeah,
this week or so. And I hope we get Wemby back at least a week before we play OKC. So,
right. Yeah, I mean, I think ultimately, we don't really have any games that worry me in the near future. Like, Timberwolves tonight might be interesting, but then Pelicans twice. Then we play a Clippers team that is floundering. Like, they are literally flailing right now.
wow.
Um,
Wow. Talk about a huge disappointment. And I mean, we kind of talked about it in the offseason. I think once say Adam was like all about them. They're like, he was like, no, dude, they're like 40. They're gonna do great. And it's like, no, dude, they're that's not the NBA nowadays. And so you look at the Clippers team and you're like, that thing's just a straight up dumpster fire. And I mean, I think they're happy that Pablo Torre is now looking at like other stories, but that
right.
circle's going to come back, and we're going to start talking about this circumventing the salary cap. And then you have Kawhi Leonard after games going, we got to get better talent in here. And you're like, you're not a leader. Like, why even play the game now? Like, it seems like he's never happy. He's never playing. So, like, just retire, Kawhi. Like, congratulations, you fleeced a bunch of franchises to pay some money. But at this point in time, if you're not going to step up and be a leader and be someone that can be vocal in the locker room or rely on like a Chris Paul to be that guy, just get out of here. I'm tired of Kawhi Leonard, dude. He's a piece of shit, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's just hard to view him as like a realistic building block for a franchise anymore, just based on how he's moved with, kind of being a interesting way he snaked his way out of Toronto and how he's been since he arrived in LA and all the aspiration stuff. It's really just put a sour taste in everyone's mouth when all he needs to do is just stay healthy and play basketball, and it just seems like he can't even achieve that. So, um, yeah, there's a
And
lot of
and the
things at play there.
yeah, and the one thing that you rely on him to do is keep his mouth shut. And when people are like, "So Kawhi, what do you think about this Clippers team? What can be better? We got to get better talent." It's like, oh, so I just hear the bus run over half the Clippers team? Like, come on,
Right.
man. Like, that's just insane. So, I think the Lakers are a dumpster fire, or the Clippers are a dumpster fire. I think that franchise has always been a dumpster fire. So I don't see, I think there's just a black cloud over it. They got to do some juju or something to get that off. But, you know, Steve Ballmer, yeah, man, you bought a shit franchise, and sucks because you look at their arena and you're like, wow, that's a super awesome arena and everything that they're incorporating, but they're not doing it right. Whereas in San Antonio, we do things right, and our arena is going to be way cooler and way better than that thing. Maybe.
Right. Well, it may not have all the fancy gadgets that arena has, but it's gonna actually be filled with fans that are wanting to support the franchise in a real way, and that's where the difference is because, the Clippers have never known a hardcore dedicated fan base because they've never won. It's
Yeah.
it's hard it's hard to know what that truly looks like, but yeah, the Spurs are on the verge of doing some real winning, my friend, and we're sitting at a very favorable spot. We're sitting at fifth in the Western Conference right now,
Who would have?
one spot ahead of the Timberwolves, who were playing tonight, and one spot right behind the Nuggets, who we just beat on Friday. So we're in the thick of it, my friend.
Dude, if you would have told us we'd be in the thick of it in December, where we're at, how we're playing with and without Wemby, obviously we're definitely going to take it. But this team can do some damage, 100%. And we're beating the biggest part is we're beating the teams we're supposed to beat. And we're not giving up on games. Just look at what we did against the Nuggets. So this team has exceeded expectations for sure. But I want to glaze myself for just a second. I did say 8-2 for the first 10 games, and your boy was right. So just saying.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. Go ahead and glaze yourself a little bit because all right, and just like that, we're banned. But, it just seems like we can win games in various ways. Like, we can win games where we get out in front and we just really put our foots on their neck and we don't let them come back, and then there's games where we can kinda come back and win in various quarters, and even against the Nuggets, it surprised us because the third quarter's kind of been our bugaboo, and
Yep.
that's when we came back.
Yep.
And that was when we really put on a surge and we ended that quarter on a 20-6 run and put it within a 1 point game, and
Yep.
that changed everything. So
For sure.
we're really displaying that whether it's, coming out of halftime with energy, starting the game with energy, finishing the game with poise, like we're doing all of these. And whether or not we can, put all of it into the same game, that remains to be seen. But we're doing it all in various games. So that should inspire a lot of confidence.
And we've lost 5 games, but 4 of those are to 2 teams.
Yeah.
And I mean, and the 5th one's to the Lakers, who we do play in the quarterfinals of the NBA Cup. And I hope, if I'm not mistaken, is that game's in LA, right?
Yes, I believe that game is in LA
I
on
hope they
December
get their
10th.
court situation figured out, because it's ridiculous that we're in 2025 and they said, oh, the NBA Cup court is deemed unplayable. What?
What are we doing, guys?
What? What do you mean unplayable?
Like how can we not get construction right on a basketball court to make it playable so we can have it look in unison with what everyone else is doing around the league? How can we not make that happen?
Dude, insane. And then, I don't know. Do you have anything else Spurs wise? Because I got some dunks.
We can absolutely go right into dunks. I'm just trying to see if there's any other things I really wanted to touch on. And no, we really glazed everyone appropriately. Yeah, I just want maybe just quick shout out to Julian Champagny one more time.
Yeah.
He hit 25 and 10, and that was his 3rd straight double-double. 3 straight double-doubles from Julian Champagny. Like, we're seeing him really step up and get a lot of rebounds and fill in some of that defensive rebounding void that Wemby has left behind, because Wemby was the number 1 defensive rebounder in the league when you look at percentages and you look at actually counting stats. And that void has really been filled by a couple of different people, Julian Champagny being one of them. Shout out to Champagny over these last few games.
Absolutely, dude. Shout out to Julian Champagny, 100%.
Absolutely. But yeah, that should be a perfect segue into some dunky dunks. Who do you feel like yamming on?
Whoever approved the NBA Cup court for Denver. Dude, that thing was gross. It was disgusting. I hated it. It hurt my eyes. I was trying to watch it while watching football simultaneously, and I'm like, I can't even look at it because it's so gross. Like, it was that copper, is that red? I don't even know what it is, and it was just a gross, obscene. I hate it. I hate it. Like, some of these NBA Cup courts are badass, and then some are just ass. And Denver is ass. So I'm glad that we don't have to deal with Denver anymore on an NBA Cup level. But maybe next year, get something better. Like, just get something better.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I agree. It was absolutely one of my least favorite cup courts I've seen. So if we can improve upon that, NBA, let's make it happen.
Please,
I know Adam Silver's listening to this.
Because San Antonio, our NBA Cup court's badass.
Yes.
It's awesome. And it doesn't hurt my eyes because I have a big ass TV and I turn all the lights off. And when it's like in your face, you're like, do I need to wear sunglasses to watch this shit? Like, this is insane. And by the 3rd quarter, I'm like, I have a fucking headache. So yeah, let's get better on the NBA Cup courts. Like, I don't know. Seems like a good idea to test them on TV before you roll them out, just to make sure, like, color scheme wise, it looks good, because I've seen better courts on 2K, 100%.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, a lot of fan made courts look better. So it's like, if people are independently doing things better than the NBA, then where's the disconnect? So yeah, I agree.
How much does someone get paid to put that piece of shit out too? Like, I'm thinking I could have done way better, and I would have been half the cost.
Right. Yeah. I'd have been like, what, 90% of that cost? It's like, yeah.
Go ahead.
I also have a Nuggets related dunk, and I kind of alluded to this in the group chat, but I gotta dunk on Chase Buford real quick.
Nice.
I gotta dunk on Chase Buford. Haven't seen his face in a long time, and just seeing him pop up on the Nuggets coaching staff just really it made me laugh. but it also made me kind of proud of him at the same time. I'm really proud of him that he is a successful coach right now. But I also remember times where we realistically had to avoid playing him because we were trying to advance in the tournament, but we also knew that he was like, coach's son, so you had to play him, and you really couldn't ruffle his feathers because he was kind of a spoiled rich kid. So it was really kind of difficult because I was the guy that was going in for him in the late game and be like, no, we need Rob to play. Like, we actually need to like score points in these late game moments. Like, surprise, surprise, we need offense. And Chase would kind of shit the bed in those moments. So like, I hope his job isn't nepotism, but at the same time, he's had success in the NBL,
Yeah.
and so I really do think that it's him growing into just being a good coach. But so like, shout out to him for being a solid coach. But man, I remember the days when I used to just shit on him as a player, and we couldn't stand it when he was in the game. And so yeah, I'm gonna dunk on you for that. But at the same
He
time,
played at Heights, right?
he did play at Heights, and
But did
yeah,
he play at Heights or was
there was one year, it was 2006 that he was at Heights, and then the next year he like transferred to like a private school that
because he
was like
kept getting cooked?
I mean, he just had no, like, first of all, I played Heights 10 times and never lost once. And
Woo!
so like, we cooked Alamo Heights anytime we played them. And so he just couldn't do anything. Like, he just was a
Yeah.
guy. He was an average shooter, an average ball handler, couldn't really pass that well. Like, was about 6'3" and slow footed and couldn't really guard wings. And like, he just, I don't know. He just really
Of
wasn't
course,
that good
yeah.
of a player, but
But
man, just
it's
so
always the ones
spoiled.
that are like good enough to play, and then they just become this coaches. They just become really good coaches because they saw players like you and other players kick their ass, and they're like, you know what? I know how to get more efficiency out of that guy. And it's like, all right,
Yes.
yeah.
He had a good
So,
view from the bench.
uh,
But at the same time, it like, I also am the main reason I'm dunking on him is because he's spoiled as shit. Like, there was one
yeah,
AAU practice that he totaled his Hummer that weekend, and then, like, at one of our AAU practices that week, he, like, pulled up in a fully, like, decked out Jeep that had, like, all the bells and whistles on it, like, huge, like, lift, big tires. I'm like, "This is a $100,000 Jeep," and it's
right.
like, and he just pulls up in it nonchalant, like, "Oh."
$100,000 in '07, '08, '06, whatever that is. So like
Right.
way that was a lot of money back then.
Oh, yeah.
Way
And
more
so,
than my
like,
Isuzu and your Fusion.
Exactly, exactly. And so, like, I'm just like, you, god dang it, you spoiled piece of crap." So, like, that's mainly why I'm dunking on him.
I get it.
It brought up a
Well,
lot of that.
I totally understand, but you want to do some blind rankings?
Dude, let's do some blind rankings. And honestly, it's turning into one of my favorite segments. And then I also have a couple of quick, fun nicknames for you, and then we'll get out of
Oh,
here.
hell yeah.
Sound good?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's
All
do
right,
it.
dude. We're going to do blind rank these Spurs Timberwolves players. So they played for
Okay.
both franchises. Total, I think there's like 33 who played for both. Now, it could be like a long stint, it could be a short stint. Got to figure it out. Again, your preference, no parameters, whatever you think. All right.
Okay. Okay.
Here
Sweet.
we go. Number 1, Bryn Forbes.
Oh man, Bryn Forbes. I'm gonna go Bryn Forbes at 4.
Ooh, that's actually a really good one. All right. Kevin Martin.
Kmart. Ooh, I'm gonna go Kmart at 3.
Kmart at 3. I like it. Okay. What is this? It's weird. All right. Gary Neal.
Oh man. Gary Neal hit some big buckets for us, but I don't know if I want to put him at 2. Man. You know what? I think there's going to be a stinker towards the end, so like I guess I'm going to put Gary Neal at 2.
All right, so Brent Forbes is 4. We got Kmart at, would you say 3?
3, yeah.
Gary at what? You said 2?
At 2.
All right. See if I want to. No, I won't do that to you. Chuck Person.
Oh, Chuck Person 1. I'm going to go Chuck Person 1. Absolutely.
Oh, that leaves your number 5. Rasho Nesterovic.
Oh, you know what? That's perfectly understandable. And, you know, I love that I was talking about some AAU stuff earlier.
Yeah.
Because that's a dude I scored 2 buckets on at the Spurs facility when he was rehabbing and he played for us. Dude, I'm not gonna lie, scoring on him gave me some confidence because, you know, he wasn't at full strength, but he was trying. And like,
I mean, 12 years in the NBA, dog.
yeah. I mean, I hit a midi in his face and then he like on the very next possession, he like saw I caught it in the same spot. He took a little step out and I went just right around him and laid it up. And I was like, God damn, Rasho, move your feet.
And then in consolation prize to Kyle Anderson.
Yeah, there you go.
Good old slow-mo.
Yep, number 1. That's funny.
All right, man. Well, that's all I got for my blind rankings today.
Absolutely, dude. I love that. Yeah, we absolutely need to do more and more blind rankings because, you know, it just helps us appreciate some of the Spurs players from yesteryears, and we get to yap about their greatness and all that jazz. And I just wanted to bring up a few quick nicknames. TJ Ford was the little engine. I liked that nickname.
I get it because it's like Ford.
Exactly. All of these were provided by Basketball Reference, so I'm not making these names up. All of these are on there. You can go look at them for yourself. Michael Thompson, Sweet Bells.
Excuse me?
Sweet Bells.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know what it means either.
And I feel like we're going to get demonetized.
No, actually, it's Sweet Balls. No, but Sweet Bells. Chucky Brown, who played for us in the 99-2000 season, his nickname, Wild Thing. I like that nickname. But honestly, we need to bring back
somebody like Major League.
Yeah, seriously. We need to bring back nicknames like that. And there was a guy that played for the Chaparrals in 68. His name's Maurice Hartley, Mo Hartley. His nickname, the Toothpick.
The Toothpick.
The Toothpick. I don't know where that came from, but the Toothpick. So I these are some of the more weird ones, some of the more unique ones. There's definitely some sillier ones, but some of them I can't even dive into because I don't know the meaning of them at all. There was I think I put that in some other notes, but yeah, there was a few that were just absolutely. Ron Boone was instant offense. Like I think that would be that would be a nickname that I would really love to have. Then George Johnson, Fly Swatter. George T. Johnson, Fly Swatter, who led the league in blocks multiple times.
I mean, I do love nicknames, and I think Gilbert Arenas has probably one of the best ones too. Hibachi.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Agent Zero, but Hibachi's nice too.
Hibachi was dope.
Yes, that absolutely is a fire nickname. But yeah, dude, that's feeling like a good episode with all of our dunks and fun Spurs chat. And yeah, I love the blind rankings and the fun stuff like the nicknames. We need to dive into more and more of that. Anything else you need to dive into, my friend?
I actually just looked up Tim Duncan's nickname list.
What's all on there?
Timmy, obviously.
Is Timmy D, Big Fundamental, those things?
Yeah, Old Man Riverwalk, that was a fun one.
Yes, Old Man Riverwalk.
But there's two on here. I wonder if you know these.
Um, huh. I mean, geez, I don't know. Is it something?
I don't think you're gonna get them because they're
Yeah, I mean,
like
it's not.
they're ones
It's
I had no idea that.
something Merlin related, or
No, one of them's Groundhog Day, which I think is a badass nickname because you
Groundhog
get the same
Day.
thing because you get the same thing over and over again. Like that's fucking cool.
I love it.
And then the other one is the Stone Buddha.
Huh.
I have no
It's-
idea where he got that one from, but that's hilarious.
Hmm.
The
That
Stone
honestly,
Buddha.
that might be a deep dive into all of Tim Duncan's nicknames and where they came from. That might be a mini doc in itself. And I also,
Groundhog Day is a badass nickname, dude.
yes, like who gave him that nickname? I need to know.
Yeah,
Um,
dude. Hell yeah.
um, but yeah, there was also another mini doc I'm going to dive into. The 1 year that we were neither the San Antonio Spurs or the Dallas Chaparrals.
Nice.
What was that year and what were we? We're going to dive into all that in the mini doc.
Amen to
Um,
that, buddy. All
yeah,
right, man. Great
but
episode. That was
yeah,
fun. These
yeah.
nicknames are hilarious.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's always funny to see what they come up with. Especially because we're coming up with things like the Heartbreak Kid for Dylan Harper, and we're having fun with it. So it's interesting to see what other people come up with as well. But before we get out of here, shout out to our sponsor, the Solar Scouts, solarscouts.com/bums. Click the link right here. If you and your fam need a solar plan that makes sense for you, save yourself some money on your bill, hit up the solarscouts.com/bums, figure out how to get a plan that makes sense for you and your fam. Save some bucks. Be kind to the energy grid. We all know in Texas it can be crazy. Absolutely. But
Yes, sir.
yeah, let's hop off here. And yeah, it was a great episode. Yeah, we appreciate everyone for being here, whether you're listening to this on YouTube, you're watching the clips on Instagram, you're following us on Twitter, on TikTok, wherever you are consuming the podcast. We absolutely appreciate you, and this whole experience wouldn't be the same without you, so we really thank you. But yeah, we're gonna end this episode the same way we end all episodes, and that is with a go,
Go.
a Spurs,
Spurs.
a go.
Go.
Bum, bum,
Baby, lock
bum,
them doors and turn the lights down low.
bum.